What's up, otakus? Oh man, it's hot. It's summer, and we got another package to open, and we're gonna not keep. We're not. This video is not gonna be that long. I'm. I do want to provide some updates though. Um, I claimed a book online. It's a big book, but after reviewing the photos, so it's a CGC graded book. And I thought, man, at that grade, it's a great price. But then I took a look at the photos, and I guess I could share the cert number on this. The cert number on this book. Now, I do still want the book. Don't get me wrong. I still do want the book. I think the book, presents well enough. And it's a big book that we want. It's kind of in the grade that we want too. Ultimately, like when you look at the grade, again, after looking at the photos and judging what damage and like flaws are on the front and back covers of the book, I, along with a lot of people in the community, I did my due diligence to check in with a couple people who have a good, solid handle of grading. But after kind of checking in with people and looking at the book myself, I felt the grade was not justified. I know CGC graded it a 4.0, but in my opinion, that was a little bit of a, I think, overestimation, in my opinion, because there are several issues with the book. The two glaring ones being there's a chip on the back cover. It's small, but it's like a triangular chip. It's just like a little section that's missing from the back right corner. And then the front right corner is also, it's damaged to the point where it's like it's curved. It's like a big section of it chipped off as well as the back part. That entire front back in the top right front cover of it looks like it just got like cleaved or something, but it's very ragged, along with a lot of spine wear. And it just got me thinking, hey, look, what's up? It got me thinking that the price, well, first of all, it's not a 4.0. I don't care what CGC says and what the label says. In my estimation of the grade, with that chip and the ragged corner and all the spine, it's a 3.5 at best. But again, those are pretty significant issues with the book. And a fine, the difference between a VG and a fine is huge. Like fine kind of implies you just got maybe some minor creasing, but overall it's like a mid-grade. There's not a lot of issues. Now this book doesn't have terrible creasing, but there's like spine ticks that extend out to where it's not a spine tick, it's a crease. It's like the spine creases kind of jag out. So there are a lot of issues with the book. I really disagree with the 4. I have a 4.0 here that would run circles around that 4.0 in terms of like condition. And what's wrong with that book is just like like minor creases, like probably less than half a, like about a centimeter in terms of length. So we're talking really minute stuff. And again, that chip is very minor. It's about a centimeter, I'd say, in terms of width from on that chip. But that's not the only chip. There's like, I'd say about 3 chips in the book. And again, the ragged corner. So given all those things, I claim this book, but I don't feel good about getting the book at the price that they're listing. So I said, I kind of offered the guy like what I thought was a fair value for the book. And I think he's conferring with the owner of the book who's on vacation or whatever, but I still haven't gotten a response on whether he'd be willing to renegotiate that price. If it comes down to he can't drop the price on it, I mean, I feel bad about claiming the book before really doing a due diligent review of the condition, but I don't feel bad about pulling out of that claim because, again, I feel like I'm overpaying for the book. Well, I'm not that I'm overpaying, but I'm not getting a good deal on the book, especially if you buy the book thinking it's a 4.0, but obviously the grader was asleep at the wheel, or CGC was asleep at the wheel when they did that grade. Because nobody in their right mind who grades, if you presented that book to most people who grade it, they'd be like, no, this is not a 4.0. I mean, it's not a 4.0. A 4.0 should not have chipping of that degree. The corners should be, even if they're dull, they should not be like damaged to that extent. And that book, even if the chipping and the corner weren't there and it was just the spine, that would, I think, warrant a 4.0. But with that spine is a 4.0 spine, and you have the chipping and all the other little factors, I think, again, 3.5 at best, but probably closer to 3.0. But it's in that range. It's in the 3.0 to 4.0 range. And I know, like, obviously CGC slapped a 4.0 on there, and it's debatable. And I haven't seen the interior of the book. Maybe the interior book was just absolutely flawless or something, but it's cream to off-white. I mean, it's got all the signs of a low-grade book. And, even this seller, even though he's kind of reputable online, he's reselling on behalf of this person. He's probably got no no stake in terms of what. Anyway, I just hope they consider. I went to the CGC cert. I put the certification number of the CGC site, and they have the photos up there, and kind of take a look at the photos. But the same issue. Again, I disagree with the grade. And I know a lot of people just kind of blindly, whatever CGC slaps on a label and a grade, they kind of blindly follow. Hey, that's the grade. I'm just not one of those people. But anyway, I'll keep you updated on what happens with that deal. I still do want the book. I just hope they come down on the price on it, because I'm willing to pay for it, but not at the price they want. They got to come down, given that the condition is an issue. It's an issue. I mean, anybody with 2 eyes and knowledge of grading is going to question the legitimacy of that grade, or the grader who made that call. All right, so we've got, I love these extra like cardboard, because ultimately, like, these kind of serve as like placeholders in comic boxes and stuff, and we can turn makeshift boxes into comic book, like short boxes and stuff, or holders. All right, so what is this book? First off, this is a book I have, and you're probably saying, "Oh, come on, Otaku, why are you? You said you wouldn't pick up doubles and you'd just be focused on new stuff, and why are you picking up stuff you already have? Come on, stop doing that." And I would agree with all of you. I should probably stop doing that. But this book was such a deal, and it was so much better than the current copy that I have, that I just couldn't. I had to. I mean, at the price, and in terms of now, there's a lot of copies of this book. This book is by no means rare. It is a big significant first appearance. But I just love the cover artwork, the creators on this book, and this was such a nicer copy than the one I currently had, and it wasn't a big financial lift. So I thought, you know what, it's worth getting and replacing my current copy, and having in the collection. So I wouldn't mind selling my other copy. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And again, I don't mind having two copies either. This one is in flawless condition as well, and we've got we've got a COA that's weird. Anyway, I'm probably gonna swap out the books. All right, so let me show you the book I got, and then I'll show you the previous copy that I had. We got another copy. This is probably I've got probably 7 copies of this now. This might be my 7th or 8th copy of this. I've got a lot of copies of this. And I got to stop picking this book up. I just find it for $1. And at that price, I'm just like, it's kind of like a spec buy. I'm like, this book, if Gen 13 ever comes into the consciousness of collectors again, and it becomes this, and it'll happen in my lifetime, I'm sure, because after I'm gone, the subsequent generations aren't going to care about Gen 13. So I'm probably the last generation that cares about Gen 13, because it was targeted at me at the time it came out. It was literally targeted at Gen Xers, collecting comic books, into like good art and sexy ladies and all that. So we picked up another copy of Deathmate Black, but we got a signed copy. It has a beautiful signature right there. That's the Mark Silvestri signature that you want to have, with that S and then the tail out on the Silvestri. That is, I wish it would get in focus. All right, it's not going to focus. I got to put my hand here. What do I got to do here? I really got to get a new camera. I know Naman Young just got a new camera. It might be worth the investment. There we go. All right, so just a beautiful signature placement. And this is a book I've been meaning to get signed by both creators, Silvestri and Lee. So this is just perfect now as the copy where we put Jim Lee's signature up here, or maybe, somewhere. Anyway, I'll let Jim decide, but it'll have this. So now I have my previous signed copy is Silvestri's signature in gold. And again, I know it doesn't look like the previous one I showed you, but if you get in close, you can see the arc of the S right here, and then the tail. But this signature just is not, it just looks like scribbles. And it's not like Mark Silvestri's signature. If you really like, if you look at it like this, it's really unique and absolutely recognizable that it's his signature. Because I have other books signed by him. And when we got this copy here, I was just like, I know that's a signature. You know, we got a COA and all that, and I know that's a signature, but it just seemed like he was in a rush. And again, you can't really make out that it's his signature there. So that always kind of bothered me. You know, this was part of a 3-book haul or 3-book set of signature books that we got for $25. And I thought at the time, you know, this book alone, I'd pay like $20 for, like a signed copy of this. But again, the signature was kind of like, you know, it was less than desirable. Well, this book, I talked the guy down in price. I got this book for $12. $12. I mean, we're talking like Death Made Black, a high grade copy of Death Made Black, books at, you know, like $8. And this was shipped, $12 shipped. So I've got basically, you know, a book with shipping and everything for $12. So that to me just felt like I can't pass on it. Not that I would pay $8 for a near mint copy of this. You should obviously just get these in the dollar bin because that's where they're swimming and floating. But think about it. You've got one of the rare instances where Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee, two of my favorite artists of all time, are working on a book together. They and this is just a beautiful cover here. You know, it's basically Silvestri as on pencils and Jim Lee on inks, I believe. So, yeah, just that along with the fact that it's the first appearance of Gen 13, right? And I know for our younger viewers, they'll be like, what's so special about Gen 13? You know, I know they're in the DCU now, and they you know, like the Wildstorm stuff is kind of hit and miss with people, but again, it's DC content now, so DC hopefully won't let that IP just fade into the sunset. Hopefully they'll do something with it. And again, these are all kind of sort of a, you know, speculation. Not that speculation, I should say. It's what I think the has potential to do more in comic books. So if you want to call that speculation, I guess that's what it is. But I honestly feel like, you know, Gen 13 would make a good comic book content. I know it's a very 90s. If you go back and read Gen 13, it is rather corny, and you know, it's a team, but it's I'm so glad I picked up this newer copy. This previously signed book, you know, the grade is not as nice, and there are just issues with the book. This copy here is just so much cleaner. So, you know, I'm going to make this available. This other signed copy, I'll make it available for sale, or maybe we'll keep it. I honestly think when Gen 13 pops, you know, people are going to be wanting to get this book, and hopefully maybe someone will want a signed copy and will want to pay for it. But for now, yeah, this is going to be our flagship copy here with the nicer signature. And again, for $12, I'll get that all day, every day. That to me is well worth spending on a signed book, especially key first appearance as well. Two of my favorite artists. I mean, it's a no-brainer. When I saw it, I was just like, I'm usually hesitant to like, I especially now, I'm very like, unless I see a book for a price I want, I'm very like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, that's nice, but we're not going to do anything with it. But this book, once I saw it, I was like, okay, let's try to get it for lower. And we sent sort of a kind of a lowball offer. They accepted, and I was like, all right, I'm getting this book for $12. So I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, and it's a much nicer copy than the previous book I had. So that's a plus as well. And I'm just realizing now that these Deathmates, they have this sort of marbled design here, this like stone design. They're all different. They have different patterns, which is kind of cool. So no like two copies are exactly alike. Just notice that now, like you see the marbled patterns, they're different. Trying to get them at the same angle so you can see. I know it's hard to tell, but they are different. Jeez, they're not. There we go. I guess I'll put it like this. There we go. See, the patterns are all different, like up here and down here, which is kind of cool, I guess. All the copies are a little different. But yeah, so I got two signed copies now. One will just keep as like a reserve signed copy, and the other will keep as a main signed copy. Put this in here. And again, I think I got good deals on both of them, especially this one today, $12. That one, part of 3 books with a John Byrne signature. But I guess if you just, let's say I paid $25 for that 3-book lot. Even if you were to cleave that by half, 25 divided by 2, that's still like $13. So I essentially got both these signed books for like $12 to $13, which in my opinion is a good deal. All right, well, Friday we are going to go over. Hey, Mike, is that you? All right, I gotta check on something. Those are my neighbors. All right, so Friday, you don't want to miss Friday. Whether we pick up books this week or not, I'm going to go on Friday, and I am going to just kind of go formulate my kind of top 10 books we're targeting list. Now, I've got like thousands of books on my wish list, and I kind of have certain books top of mind, but nothing set in stone, nothing like I've actually kind of written down. And I do want to pick up Transformers #1. I do want to pick up, what is it? She-Hulk 41, Volume 2, 41. I do want to pick up Wonder Woman Volume 2, I think 76 or 79. It's the, it's the Wonder Woman iconic cover. Trying to think what else. There's a lot of things top of mind, but it's good to just kind of like, okay, you kind of go on this list, you can wait kind of list and just kind of go through and take a look at them all together and just see which ones just blaringly pop out. But I think the three I mentioned, those are probably going to be on the list, but we'll have to see. So Friday, we're going to go through that process. I know I can share my screen, so I'm going to kind of be sharing my screen and going over the potential books. And you guys can chime in too. Like you could say, you know, well, that one should definitely be on your list. Wait on this one, you know, like in terms of where the market pricing is. I definitely feel like pricing definitely has a lot to do with whether we're targeting them now or later. So for example, you know, not that Red Hulk would be on my list or anything related to Deadpool or anything would be on my list. But for example, if that somehow made the list in terms of what I wanted, would I really want to pick it up now versus later? So I think, you know, considering those some key factors, like, like if I'm buying or targeting a book, I want it not to get at its peak, but kind of get at its valley. And right now, a lot of books are at their valley. So that's another, you know, part of the equation that the calculus will use to come up with our final list. Hey, Miss So, good to see ya. Oh, you like my ramen? Thank you. Yeah, I made myself dinner last night, and I did this last year too. Last year during the summer, you know, I cook for myself because my wife and my boy are gone, and I'm kind of like back to, you know, after work coming home and having to cook myself dinner and keep myself entertained. And last year, I think I made like steak sandwiches with like, you know, some roasted kimchi, really easy stuff you can get at Costco, stuff you can kind of pop in the toaster oven, or I should say it's the air fryer, and make rather cheap and easy. Like, doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of effort, but it's so good. But yesterday, I mean, I make a lot of instant ramen, and I think I make pretty good instant ramen because I've been making it so long. And I just thought, you know, like a lot of you probably are sick of just having the standard, you know, out of package boiling water. If you follow my recipe, that broth is just, it's not like one you would get at like a real ramen restaurant, but it's a lot better than what you just kind of make on your own. So if you want to get some cooking ideas and stuff, go check out that video. Hopefully that'll inspire you to try it out at least. It's really simple. You do need to get a few ingredients, but nothing crazy. You don't have to, not a lot of prep time at all. So very easy. All right, well, I'm going to end it there, but be sure to tune in Friday. We're going to probably have a haul, and then we're going to go over that book list. So we'll see you in the next one, and take care of yourselves. Bye.